Good morning, YouTube. I don't mean to be low energy, but it has been a long work week. For some reason, I don't know how I even made it to Thursday. I'm tired as hell, and I don't want to be to work. But guess what? My black ass is at work. Here the fuck we go again.
What the fuck, y'all? God damn! God damn! God damn!
What?
Fuck! Fuck!
Like a mighty love dreams like
As woman. Number one, he has to be taller than 6 foot. The height of a man does not determine the value of a man. You could have the tallest man in the room, but if he has an attitude that is just not right, he will always be looked at as small. Imagine meeting a man that's all you ever asked for and prayed for, but the only thing is, he's 5'8". He's 5'9". Sounds silly, doesn't it? Number two, he has to make more than 6 figures a year. The average male in the US makes around $58,000 annually. And not only that, y'all want men who's always about making more and more money, but men like that have a limited amount of time to hang out with you. They're always busy, they're always working, they're always hustling. Which leads me to my next point, number three, that he should spend all his time with you. Ain't no man gonna be sitting around his woman all day. After work, he might want to just come home and relax or hang out with his friends, and that's okay. The world doesn't just revolve around you, sis. 4, he should know when I'm hurt and upset. Real feminine women understand the importance of communication. Nobody in this world is a mind reader. If you have a problem, then you need to communicate that, because what we're not going to do is play the guessing game to figure out what's wrong with you. And number 5, he has to plan all the dates and events. A lot of men nowadays have super busy schedules. I'm sure he'd appreciate it if you took the time out to plan a special evening for the both of you as well. You could take him out to dinner and you could pay the tab, sis. He shouldn't always have to pay. You could show him how much you appreciate him too and all he does for you. What are some other unrealistic standards that we need to get rid of altogether as women? Drop them down below. I'd love to hear.
Now listen, this is another one my homeboy sent me. And again, I'm not numbering these. Fuck that. He sends me way too much shit. I think he's like practically 1/3 of this channel at this point. Like, I want to divide this channel if I really want to get into, where I want to take it. I kind of want to react to anime and other shit a little bit. Don't mind doing the dating advice thing. And I think one section might be for food and mukbang because my girlfriend loves that type of shit. But anyway, right? This is another one from him. And where I fall with this whole little segment is this shit boils down, personally for me, to practicality and what actually happens in real time with people. Now, first things first. The thing about unrealistic dating standards is that a lot of y'all get this from the internet. Alright? This is a bunch of internet baby shit. Because before the internet became a thing, a lot of y'all wasn't saying none of this. Like, y'all wanted stuff, but it wasn't to the egregious amount that you wanted it now. And look, there's nothing wrong with a woman having standards, just like there's nothing wrong with a man having standards. But it gets to a point where it gets outrageous. Like, a lot of y'all... Look, what I'm saying is, with real, actual people, it takes both people to make the situation work, all right? It can't just be a man slaving away at a job trying to please a woman, all right? And it can't be a woman being one-sided and just taking shit off a dude to the point where she don't have no say in her life. Y'all have got to be a little bit more realistic about the things you want. But chances are, with AI and all this other bullshit coming out, no one is. Like, for example, right? Y'all say a man's supposed to pay all the bills. Look, I have nothing against that. But what I'm saying is, in real practical time, the amount of money that a man would have to make to pay all your bills. Like, okay, let's say for sake of argument, you got 2 kids. It's 2 kids plus you. Plus the rent. All right? Look, so you personally, me, I like keeping money. Right? But to take care of a grown woman and 2 kids plus yourself, that takes a lot of money to do that. And most men don't make that type of money. Like, just like this girl said in this clip, most men make probably $55,000 a year. The average guy. Like, second, on top of that, with the height standards, right? Most men are not above 6 feet. Like, I can't with y'all sometimes. Like, you got some dudes that's 6 foot, right? And then you got most, like, okay, I would say if you had to put it on a scale of 1 to 10, out of 10 people, I'd say probably 3 of the 10 guys are above 6 feet. And quite honestly, that 6 foot shit don't really matter like that. Because if you're a confident dude, a motherfucker gonna fuck with you regardless. But just as far as how women look at it, right? When y'all say these standards and just the things y'all say about it, right? A lot of these things don't be hard stop standards. These are just, it's like y'all are saying it kind of for the sake of like you're reading it off a script. Like, okay, you go to like this podcast. What's a woman supposed to say that, you know, makes sense in the sense of a podcast? Say the same shit the last 6 bitches said. Now, as far as spending time with a person, look, the only man that can give you all his time is a motherfucker with no job. Like, and then second, if you get a man that actually, when y'all say these things, you're not thinking about it in real time. And that's what gets me mad about it. Because if a man actually spent all his time with you, you would become very annoyed very quickly. Like, look, a lot of y'all like to say things that sound good. It sound good. Oh, I want a man that want to spend all his time with me. You don't, look. A man that spends every waking second with you is up under you all the time, is always in your face about things that you want and just wants to talk to you about your feelings all the time. It's very few women that are going to actually like it. Now, let's address the other point. And just by the way I'm going, this ain't going to be a very long video. He should know when I'm hurt or upset. Alright, look. Most men half the time don't know what the fuck is going on. The other half, we don't be thinking about it. And you really sometimes don't know a motherfucker's upset until the point where they're screaming. Like, because the way we're wired is like, we just be wanting shit to be quiet. So if you're upset and you're quiet, it takes a certain type of man to notice that you're actually upset just based off the fact that you're not saying anything. Meaning, like, if you're upset and you're not physically showing that you're upset, if you're not saying that you're upset, because what most girls do, right, they'll be mad about something and they won't say anything to you about being mad about it. Oh, I'm fine. I'm good. Like, all right, dog, you want to do this silly shit today? Hey, I'm going to just leave and go somewhere else. I'm just saying, like, don't nobody want to deal with that all the time. And that's not to say that nobody cares about your feelings, but it's like, the things I've seen over the years is that motherfuckers don't want to communicate like adults. It's always the emotion first. And I get it that you're emotionally driven. It's just that when you're trying to communicate with a dude, all that like pouting and yelling shit, like a man don't hear you when you yell. Like, because most of us are so used to it, it's just like, all right, you just, that's like, okay, let's say you kick a man out or y'all, you know, you throw your man out the house, right? Personally, me, this is just how I think. If a motherfucker throw your shit out, they're not actually done with you. Like, if they throw it out and it's like in a pile, they're not done with you. A person that takes the time to organize your shit and sit it outside the front door and really fold it up and leave it there neatly, they're probably seriously done with you because they took the time to think about it. What I'm saying is like, the emotion doesn't necessarily register to us. It's not necessarily that you don't care. It's just that men don't communicate with emotions. When my homeboy's pissed off about something, he don't call me crying about it. We talk to each other. Hey, bro, this shit pissed me off, dog. I just felt like it was fucked up. That's about as far as it goes with us. Like, don't a bunch of men get on the phone screaming at each other about some shit a woman did. We don't talk like that. And we don't receive information like that. Like, if a motherfucker is just screaming at you, yelling at you, snapping, throwing shit, we look at that like you just being a woman and you'll get over it. Like, that's exactly what dudes think. That's a little locker room talk, but I'm just saying most men do not like respond to you screaming. Like, not seriously anyway. Like, you don't get to kick and scream and be a kid and I gotta be the adult and think that we gonna get somewhere like that. Just personally, when I watch that, when I've seen that type of stuff happen on videos and everything of all this other stuff, it's just like, dog, you make yourself look like a toddler when you do that. Like, all that stomping around and like, all right, bro, whenever you get that together, then we'll talk. That's how most like level-headed dudes look at it. And look, as far as planning all the dates and the events, right? I mean, look, there are some people that are better than what side than others. I mean, I get the whole, like, I would say in the beginning, like in the dating stage when you getting to know a motherfucker and y'all going out to eat, yeah, you are definitely supposed to take the wheel on that. Plan everything. Because when you sit there and you let a woman plan your date on the front end, she gonna take you to where she wanna go. Right? And you might not want to spend that money on where she wanna go. You might be an Applebee's kind of guy. She might be a Red Lobster type of woman. So I'm just telling you, from just a person that's lived it, don't let nobody steer you when it comes to like the beginning stages of dating. Now, when y'all together, that's a different ball game. As far as being in a relationship planning stuff, listen, bro, that shit can come from either end. Y'all have got to get off the internet. Like, look, if you're the kind of guy that's good at planning stuff, like on a consistent basis, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, if your girl wants to go places and that's your girlfriend, there's nothing wrong with that. Like long as y'all are doing, like, whatever works for y'all. Like, I'm not one of these people that's just like, oh, a man's supposed to plan literally everything. I don't have that type of capacity to think this much. Personally, me, right? I can plan stuff, but between driving this truck, doing this YouTube channel, like, making phone calls on things I gotta handle, people calling me about stuff, I don't have this much thought power to think of things this much. I just don't. Eventually, I'm going to get to a point where I shut off because I'm overusing my brain. That's just me personally. But if you're the kind of guy that likes to plan, plan. If you're the kind of girl that likes to plan, plan. If y'all both want to plan together, then plan together. Like, look, when you in a relationship with somebody long term, it's going to get to a point where y'all got to, like, work together on whatever it is that whatever life y'all are trying to build. Like, that's between you and her. Like, I don't do this thing in my head where it's like a man's supposed to plan literally everything. Now, I would say this. I think you need to make sure it makes sense. Like, do a little bit of legwork and, like, you know, lead it a little bit. Be like, all right, this shit may not make sense or it may make sense. Like, step in if it gets a little too stupid. But, I mean, as far as, like, the relationship aspect, bro, it's not that deep. Like, there have been plenty of times we've gone and done things that she's planned. Like, I don't trip on it like that. And then sometimes it's easier to let a person tell you what they want versus you got to think about the shit all the damn time on your end. It's just a lot of work for me. But anyway, right? That's just my take on this high standards, this, entitlement, high expectations thing, all right? I'm kind of tired, okay? Don't expect me to just sit there and just shoot fireworks and shoot from the hip all the time. I got to work a job in between this YouTube channel. And I don't always have the energy. I'm just being honest with everybody that's watching, all right? But outside of that, y'all have a wonderful and I guess blessed Thursday. Ugh.